Kings he end up with a -5 in a minute?
Hard 30 tonight.
First of all, I don't believe in numbers.
Don't get fooled. Grab a drink, because this is Hangover Time.
Heat win, a moral victory. Heat win, a moral victory. Welcome into Hangover Time, guys. Listen, there's a lot of things to be encouraged about, a lot of things to be upset about. But one thing I want to remind everybody that, yes, we're on the Miami Heat Beat Twitch channel. Check us out after once a week. Hangover Time will be on the Miami Heat Beat Twitch channel. We're also on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. And speaking of 5 Reasons Sports, they had a watch party tonight.
Ooh!
Right, so listen,
What the hell?
Listen, we all know what happens when 5 Reasons has a watch party. Like, I'm breaking down plays. I'm dissecting the box score. I'm trying to figure out what went wrong.
There's only 5 reasons.
A 5 Reasons Sports watch party. That's
Siobhan,
it. Like, there's nothing else. Go ahead, hit the buzzer, Brass. Let's go. We're done. See you guys. Okay. Seriously, though.
I was about to call it a night.
That would have been so much easier than actually talking about this game. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot to be encouraged by. But man, one thing, I'm so tired of watching this depleted ass, damaged ass team. Like, can we please get our lineup back? Like, Udonis has him playing almost 10 minutes tonight. Like, what is going on? I mean,
it's November.
Like, what is happening? Like, our birds' heads are falling off. Like, the whole team is injured all the damn time. But you know what? There's been somebody I've been pretty hard on. And you know what? Somebody stepped up tonight. If nobody stepped up tonight, this one guy stepped up tonight. So, Moose, can you hit it for me?
To Mrs. Hamish, I'm sorry. To Hamish, I'm sorry. To all the Heat fans, I'm sorry. Trying to stay true to the original video. Mrs. Hamish, we're sorry. Brass, you can take me out anytime. It's supposed to be a 30-second bit.
I'm sorry. Okay. Kind of sorry. I don't think I need to see a little bit more consistency, but I'm sorry. You stepped up tonight, 4 for 6 from 3. You were out there grabbing boards, doing a really good job on Jaylen Brown, by the way.
Yeah.
That length bothered him a little bit. One of the only guys that was bothering Jaylen Brown or any of the Celtics all night. My name is Alphonse Sidney, a.k.a. Alf954. Welcome into the Miami Heat Beat postgame show, Hangover Time. If you're watching live on Twitch on MiamiHeatBeat.twitch.tv, I can't remember the name of the website. Thank you. We love you. If you're watching on 5 Reasons Sports YouTube page live, thank you. We love you as well. If you're watching the replay on either the Miami Heat Beat or 5 Reasons Sports YouTube pages, we love you as well. And if you're listening to the podcast tomorrow morning, we love you, but always try to check us out live. Take me out, Brass. Oh, guys, another night, another Heat game in November, watching Haywood Highsmith and Udonis Haslam.
Fight over
mean-
each other, like stumble over each other like 3 times.
Siobhan, this is not what I signed up for. Hey, it's Greg Sylvander.
Hey,
Hello, Leif.
Yeah.
This is not what I signed up for.
Dog, did you just call me Greg Sylvander?
I'm sorry,
That's
Leif.
awkward,
We're
man.
on
Jeez.
Leif Sylvander. We are.
Like it's like
It was
me
the
and you
Ron
ain't even
Burgundy
homies
effect.
more.
I know
he was
it's
just
been a
reading the
minute.
teleprompter.
It's been a while. Whatever's put in
Hi,
front of
Greg.
me, I'm going to read tonight because I'm exhausted
What's up?
by watching this
Shout out
team
Dose.
right now. But you know what? Before we get any further, let's find out who kicked our ass.
They kicked our ass.
Just Jared says, Mama named him Greg. I was going to call him Greg. That's right. Moose, who kicked our ass tonight?
Is there anybody else to go with besides Jason Tatum? I mean, he was unbelievable tonight. I don't think he scores that if Jimmy was out there. That's another topic we'll talk about later. But he was making everything out there. It was just looking easy for him. So Jason Tatum.
Siobhan, who kicked our ass tonight?
I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brogdon. Love that guy. Good stout point guard, solid body, great or a much more improved shooter. 7 for 10 tonight. 5 of 7 for 3. 21. Yeah, I'm gonna just give it to him because I can't give it to Jason.
Several people texted me tonight. Tweeted at me tonight about my earlier Malcolm Brogdon slander. I stand by
Oh, what was that?
that he's fucking mid. I stand by every fucking word I said. I don't
All
know
right.
shit. It's easy to play with those
All
guys.
right,
Anybody
Lee.
can do it. I could be out there hitting 5 for 7 from 3,
Okay.
looking like Alan Payne
Huh.
from that episode of Fresh Prince. Brass,
Martin Payne,
who
maybe.
kicked our ass tonight?
The easy one is to go with 5 reasons for the fucking watch
No,
party
that's
thing.
right,
But
that's right.
I'm gonna go with the royal family. Like, are we fucking really still
Yeah.
with the royal family?
Yeah.
Like, do you know the excitement that overcame Boston when you have like a royal family who's just entrenched
yeah.
in just
Yeah.
white? Like, I mean, it was
Yes,
just there was
yeah.
no chance. That was
Yeah.
just they didn't miss from fucking 3. They couldn't miss. They couldn't
The
miss.
hairline kicking.
couldn't
his
Why are
ass.
they Celtics fans? Can any of
It's-
y'all answer
Why
that?
wouldn't they not be Celtics fans?
I
What
thought
else?
it was
I
kind of
guess
clear with
good
what I
point.
said.
It's
I mean,
either Celtics
yeah.
or Jazz. There's not a lot of
Or Utah, right? Mm.
That's
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leif, who kicked our ass tonight?
I'm gonna go the refs because we only got 9 damn free throws and they got what 20?
Hell
Hold
yeah.
on, 23. Excuse me. So
Damn.
Hold on.
a few more free throws would be super dope. Also, I felt like there was this one play where annoying ass Grant Williams dove on the ground and they ended up with the ball. And it's like them little moments in the game that kind of start to break you down. And that was one of them. So, but I can't give credit to Grant Williams because I don't
No, we
can't
don't
do it.
we
So
don't-
we're going refs. The refs.
We don't fuck with him. You know what, Leif? I'm gonna stick with you on that because you brought up something. The 50-50 balls tonight. It feels like Boston won every single one of them, right? There were so many times where, like, there was a play I pointed out on Twitter. A long 3-pointer goes up. Bam boxes out no one. Duncan boxes out Tatum. Hamish also goes to box out Tatum. You don't see Duncan or Bam say anything about Brogdon right behind Highsmith. Brogdon gets the rebound, kicks it out, 3-pointer. Those plays over and over after good defensive sequences, and they couldn't get the rebound, killed them tonight. And it's something that's been happening all year. But when I point out that play, one of the things I'm pointing out, it's not size. I don't care who you have down there. You had Bam, you had Duncan, and you had Highsmith. All guys 6'8" and above. They had the rebound secured. All they had to do was box out their man. Its size is a problem, but it's not just size. It's prioritizing rebounding and prioritizing these loose balls, and it doesn't feel like a Miami Heat team when they're not doing those things. I'm sticking with you, Leif. That was back.
Leif.
I agree with you, but like, unfortunately, I did not walk away from this game feeling like that upset, frankly. Like, Jimmy was out. They competed for most of the game. The final score, I do not believe, is representative of how competitive the game was. So to me, like, I ain't doing the moral victory thing, but it appears as if they're trending towards having their shit together. So,
Yeah.
like to me, I think that that's a good thing. Jimmy will be back hopefully Friday. Depot is a couple weeks behind him.
Hold on, Leif. Before you go any further, we have a segment for what you're doing right now.
The people need it.
Yeah, like
Give it to
Word
him.
up. Let's go. A bomb atomically. No, hit it, Brass.
What?
I think everybody needs to get a grip. You got to stay together if you got the guts, and you don't find the first door and run out of it.
There are no obstacles. There's no obstacles. All there are accusations and opinions. We have done this since 1995.
We'll find out what we're made of here if you got the guts.
This is Guts Check with Greg Sylvander.
These damn Celtics, man. Like, so let me just start here. This fear-based anxiety that Heat fans have about the Celtics, I understand the PTSD related to that damn Jimmy Butler shot that did not go in Game 7, but like, let's just calm down a little bit with like anointing this team as the next team. I know, like, I'm looking at this effective field goal percentage, best in NBA history, 59%. The Celtics. Oh no! Like, to me, they're peaking too early. Frankly, like,
that's right.
I think that it's much more likely that the Heat will. I'm not scared of the Celtics. Like, in a playoffs, in a 7-game series, it's all about getting our injured ass team there. And if they could just drag their asses there, I feel like they can compete with these teams. They got up tonight. I don't know. I just didn't walk away from this feeling deflated the way that I felt like maybe as I was backstage. Alf was setting the stage for the show. I understand they're depleted, but who else are they really missing? They're like, are we really like worried about Dedmon and Yurt? I mean, I guess they are missing every center. That's true.
Yes, right. They are missing
everybody
as
above
I start
6'11".
to rattle it off, I'm like, damn. And they're missing Depot. So yes, that is annoying as hell. But
Jovic,
to me, there's nothing but upside.
Dedmon,
Jovic,
Depot.
There's nothing but upside
Jimmy.
though. I know.
Karan.
It's annoying as hell, and you could take me out so that I'm not like I'm gonna say some prophetic shit. I honestly think that the Celtics are regression to the mean, I guess, is where I'm heading with the Boston Celtics.
I was gutless about 3-4 minutes into the game though. Because
we all were
absolutely running up the score, and I'm like getting the show ready. I have the game going, and I'm like, oh, fuck, and I'm getting stuff, and all of a sudden I look over and it's like tied. I'm like, what the? This game didn't even make sense. Didn't even make sense that they were even competitive.
Well,
when you look at the players on the floor for tonight, I'm impressed with what they're able. We're finally starting to see this team, these just kind of random assortment of players that we haven't really been truly falling in love with this year. But it's just nice to see some stuff finally click. And I mean, because those things don't happen overnight. And this is a very different looking team than we saw really even at any point last year. This is pretty damn different. So yeah, I mean, it sucks to lose, but I don't feel bad one bit after this. But Jimmy needs to fucking come back. And also like another thing, like, Jimmy, if you're not gonna be there, that's fine. Get back from your injury. I get it. Get well soon. We need you. We fucking need you. But also, how are you not playing, but you don't even do a Black Friday or Cyber Monday deal for any of your big face coffee?
Okay.
And what a missed opportunity.
That's scary.
I went to your fucking site. I love your coffee. I love the product. And I went there and look, there's nothing. Like, I'm supposed to pay full price. It's like the same fucking beans that have been there for like 2 months. Like, come on, Jimmy. But yeah, we need you back.
All
Black
right.
Friday terrified me.
That went left.
Yeah,
You got
It was
colorful
going-
Friday anxiety.
it was going Knickerbockers quick.
Hey, take me out.
But Moose, to Brass's point, like when they were down, I think it was like 20-6 or some shit. Like, it was like, well, here we go again. I thought they were about to get run off the floor. And one of the things I will say all season, this Heat team has been incredibly resilient. And I don't know if that's just the Heat or it seems like the whole league can't hold on to a lead. It's crazy. I mean, teams are coming back from double-digit deficits all the time. But for the Heat to get punched in the mouth, and it's not just once, not just in the first quarter, over and over and over all game, and to continue to, you're getting big contributions from Highsmith. Caleb wasn't that great, but you had a bad first half by Max, and all of a sudden he scored 19 in the third quarter. I mean, are you encouraged by the fact that they went up against the best team in the league on their home floor without their best player, playing Udonis Haslam as a backup 5, and still made this competitive as hell till about 2 minutes left in the game?
Hell yeah. So let me take you behind the curtain for a second. I was freaking out about tonight's game. I'm going to be honest. I did not have the guts. I'm sorry, Leif. I'm sorry, everybody. I thought we were going to get smacked around tonight. I just thought going up against this Boston team, the way they're playing without Jimmy, I wasn't sure if Bam was going to be able to maintain the offensive and defensive, intensity throughout the entire game. I am damn impressed with the performance tonight. This is the happiest I've been with the entire team. This is something that we can seriously build on. I can't wait to see what happens when Jimmy gets incorporated into this, because when you have Bam Adebayo being aggressive, and if that can continue while Jimmy comes back, because that's always been the handicap with Bam. Can he continue to be this aggressive on both sides of the floor while Jimmy's alongside him? If we can get these two guys playing together with everybody else, starting to pitch in the way that they are. Tyler was exceptional tonight. This is absolutely a win to build on that I'm very, very happy about, because I was not expecting it to be close at all. And the fact that it was like a signature boxing match where it's just haymaker after haymaker on both sides, everybody's getting shots in, that's something to be really excited about. Brass, take me out.
Put that comment back up. Subsonics.
I wanted that for you, Siobhan. I'm not going to ask you a question. Just talk about this comment.
What the hell is this? Like, it's like Bam's playing tennis against 5 people. Like, Bam can win against scrub teams, but he can't do it against good ones, man.
No.
Slashed heart emoji. Like, what the fuck is? What do you want from him? How this isn't even a sensical comment. Bam, one person can win against bad teams, but that one person can't win against good. Like, that is a waste of characters. I'm sorry. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning into the show. But be better.
I had drip trap t-shirt.
Stop trying to call out players just to fit your bullshit narratives.
Call it out in a way that makes sense.
It's so tired. Clearly that person doesn't like Bam. Clearly they don't. They probably just are fucking. They ghost everyone when Bam kicks ass like he's been doing recently. Like, this is just so stupid. How the fuck can you say anything bad about Bam right now?
This is his best stretch that I can remember in a long time. I mean, he looks like the guy that we expected.
Anything to do with Bam?
Bam has Bam's averaging 31 points over the last 3 games.
It's insane.
Am I right? Yeah, he's averaging like 30. I mean, Leif, what are we doing here? Like,
we don't acknowledge Bam slander. I mean, like, seriously, is this what but that comment was incoherent.
That just is dumb.
We don't even know if it was slander because it was literally incoherent.
Exactly.
But
hold on, they're saying Bam's his favorite player now. Don't play that.
Well, no. I mean, honestly, if
I buy all his jerseys.
So Bam got ejected tonight, Leif, and maybe if he had more than 2 free throws, they were not giving Bam anything.
Yeah,
like they were beating him up down there. Grant Williams don't know how to defend without fouling. I mean, Al Horford was doing his best, but his knees is 90 years old. Like Bam was getting whatever he wanted, and when he got fouled, there were no calls. I think he had 2 free throws. I think those only came off of being in the penalty. I don't even think those were on shots. Bam was living in the paint. The entire Heat team was living in the paint, for God's sake. But Bam only gets 2 free throws, gets ejected by none other than our good friend Tony Brothers. I'm going to stop.
Family. That's family. That's family.
I'm not going to go on my Brothers rant. But I mean, 2 free throws for Bam after to me it's the respect thing. After scoring 70 points over the last 2 games, almost being player of the week, he goes into Boston and he no respect for him at all.
He's being aggressive, and the other part of that was just like to sidebar. he got ejected, and I don't remember him getting a technical earlier in the game. So does that mean that he like said something so egregious right at the end that they just like kicked him out all at once?
He
Or
probably said, if you don't want your balls to look like Tony Brothers' face, hit up Manscaped and use a code 5.
But Leif, I think that Bam's technical was like 2 possessions right before that. It was almost back to back.
Yeah, he did get one technical.
I didn't realize that. I thought that it all was right there at the end when they ejected him. I didn't catch that he had a technical earlier than that. I have no complaint. I mean, I rarely have complaints with Bam Adebayo anyway, like, because obviously, like, that's the homie, no ceiling. But lately, like, there's just, you can't even say anything because even despite like all the offensive burden that he's had to take on, and he's obviously being more aggressive, he's showing way more things offensively than he ever has before. The defense has not necessarily, I think that if anything, teams are kind of like just running away from him. So he's not even getting the chance to like lock
the zone is
down.
the zone isn't allowing him to show off what he does best.
Exactly.
I personally think it's just kind of, I don't listen, I have my problems with the zone, but it's been a little bit effective. They're doing it because they don't have their best perimeter defenders and they're trying to hide guys all day long while they have, they're playing 7 or 8 active guys. I understand why.
That should be feeling helpless sometimes.
Huh?
It feels helpless playing so much zone,
you're watching and you're like, oh, well, they put a tall guy at the free throw line. We're fucked. Like, it's Luke Cornett killing us in the middle. Like, it's amazing. But we're burying the lead with Bam here. We are burying the lead, and I apologize. This is my fault as host of the show. Let's get to our guy of the game. The most important play of the game, win or lose.
Oh,
Top
hell
of the
yeah.
key, wide open. Finally.
Give me more of that, please.
Please.
They say that's his 8th for his career, I think, first this season.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Whatever happened to that thing that Jimmy said where he'd give Bam like $100 for every 3 he made or something like that? Wasn't that
and he's probably like, man, I spent that all on Big Face Coffee, man, because you don't give any discounts.
Damn it, Brass.
Bam got that max extension and that was off.
Yeah, it's true.
I predicted Bam would hit 42 free throw or 3-pointers this season.
Oh,
that's not gonna happen.
You're way off.
Yeah, not likely.
You'd have to hit on like a Steph Curry clip to get there now.
I figured like,
time.
He does have time. So before we get to our next segment, we want to talk a little bit about Bam's offense over the last few games. We have a special guest. Big game. We brought out the big guns.
Whoa.
Wow.
Our very own, Miami's very own.
We got him on a non-76ers night. Okay.
Hilarious.
Listen, I can get George.
Well, they lost.
We can get George. That's it. We don't nitpick when George comes on. George, thank you for stopping by. I know we only got you for a little bit. So I really kind of, not just this game, overall, your impressions of the Heat season thus far.
As usual, I feel like Heat Twitter is completely overreacting to things. They haven't been healthy. They haven't had a million guys in the lineup. I mean, Kyle Lowry's played the 2nd most minutes in the NBA. And yet they still find themselves, I believe now 9th in defense. Despite lack of continuity and all that stuff, which is really their backbone. And if I had to guess, if they have any semblance of health moving forward, they're probably going to creep closer to that top 5. Now, I think the big question is always going to be what they do offensively, particularly in the half court. I still feel like I have those kind of questions. They were 22nd or 3rd in offensive rating to this point in the season. But again, like they just haven't had their full roster. But even if when they're healthy, I still feel like they've got a lot of questions there. And they feel like they're one player short. And I mean like a significant contributor, not just a role player in regards to being able to potentially fix that offense. I don't know if that happens this particular season. It may not. They have assets. We'll see. But, you can't include Tyler, right, till next season. So they're, I don't know how big an asset they can get. I mean, you're probably looking at, if I had to guess, probably someone who is not, a max level type player, because you're not going to give up any of the assets or the salaries that you have attached to that because you need those guys.
George, one of the things I've been saying, and I guess I'm kind of agreeing with you, I don't think they've ever been as bad as, there were Heat fans saying that they're purposely tanking. Like, that's how far, and a lot of Heat fans are calling them a lottery team. And no, they're not that bad, but they're also, to me, they're 5th or 6th seed in the East. Right. So they're right in the middle of the pack without a move. And I think you said you don't know if that move is going to come this year, but out of the guys that are maybe a possibility for the Heat, guys like John Collins, guys that we've heard in that trade machine talk, who would you say the Heat should be the Heat's main target if they go after anybody?
I mean, John Collins signed a really long contract. Like, I don't feel like the Heat are a John Collins away from winning a championship, right? So I think if you're going to make a move, you got to make a move for a guy, in theory, who doesn't have that many years left on his deal. I don't know the John Collins contract right off the top of my head, but I'm guessing it's at least another 3, if not 4. So look, I look at guys, and I'm not saying this guy, okay, but I look at a guy like Robert Covington, okay. I know he's got 1 more year left on his deal at like 11 and change. I think that's the type of guy that would help the Heat tremendously. He's legitimately a stretch 4. He's an incredible defender. He does more than just shoot the ball from the corners, right? Like, he actually, to me, is a better version of what you had with PJ Tucker, at least offensively, right? And defensively, I think that if you look at his impact on the court and off the court, particularly last year with the Clippers, I think that he had similar, if not better, impact. Now, he has been in and out of the lineup this season, some of it due to injuries, some of it DMP. But he did play most recently the last couple of games after a DMP coach's decision. So I'm guessing he's back in the rotation, but maybe he won't be when Paul George comes back. And certainly maybe not when Kawhi is available to them on a more regular basis. So I think a guy like that could be had. I don't know what the price of that would be, but that's the type of guy I would look at where you're not committed to someone long-term, and he certainly helps a real need for you.
What do you see, George? You mentioned you have questions or feelings about their half court. Where do you see the friction or the things that need working out? Is it with regards to like who's having the ball in their hand more? Is it a fit thing? Is it a spacing thing? Is it our guys in each other's way? What do you see being a problem with them half court?
A little bit of all of it, right? Like, I think that when you look at them, I just don't know in a playoff series, okay? Because that's where I'm going to fast forward to, because I'm with you, Alf. They're going to be a 5 or a 6 seed. They're going to – look, Milwaukee and Boston are clearly the best 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. Hell, I would say that if Milwaukee and Boston played in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's the real NBA Finals, in my estimation. I think the West is deep in the sense that there's less bad teams, but I don't think there's any dominant teams that are as good as Milwaukee or Boston in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So now, look, maybe the Clippers, Kawhi all of a sudden is healthy and Paul George is healthy.
How many times we heard that?
Things potentially. But that's a huge if, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I look at it is those are the 2 best teams in the NBA. And then everything else, like Philly, Miami, Toronto. I don't know if Brooklyn gets their stuff right. Atlanta, whatever. Cleveland, all these other teams to me are somewhere between like 3 and 7 or 8, right? Like, that's just kind of where they're going to fall. So I think Miami is in that range. And I think they're probably in that 5th or 6th seed. I don't think they're going to be a play-in team, barring like something crazy from an injury perspective.
Which we've seen plenty of.
For sure. But I think to answer your question, Siobhan, I think that, like, I look at Kyle, for example, and while Jimmy's been out, we've kind of seen the Kyle Lowry that we expected. Now, granted, I don't think we expected the minutes load that he had to get because of the situation, but we've seen the guy that's been more aggressive on offense, more aggressive with his shot. And I think that that's something that has kind of like hampered him, even going back to his days in Toronto. I remember having a conversation with Nick Nurse the year they won the championship. And I was just kind of asking, like, what more do you want to see from some of these guys? And he singled out Kyle, and not in a bad way. He's like, I want him to shoot like 8 or 9 threes a game. I want him to have the green light all the time, particularly above the break. And, I had that same I asked that same question of Spo last year, and he's like, "Oh, I trust Kyle." And look, I get it. I would trust Kyle too. But I think what Spo has shown Kyle here, and I think that Spo now sees kind of maybe what Nick was talking about to me a couple years ago, is that Kyle is capable of more. I just think he automatically defaults to, I'm going to, set guys up. Like the other night, he had a wide open layup and kicked it out to Caleb Martin for
several times.
A few times.
And I know that the guys on the broadcast were freaking out about that, because I was also freaking out about it. So I think that there's just there's something missing there in regards to the way they play when they're all together. And I think that, I think that's a part of it. I think that they play a little too slow when Jimmy's in the lineup. I think early last season, we saw them play at a much faster pace, even with Jimmy in the lineup. But then they kind of went away from that when Kyle was in and out of the lineup because of personal reasons. So I just feel like they've never really gotten an opportunity to get their synergy down, their chemistry down, to play the style that I think they really wanted to play going into last season, and we saw very early on. So I think that's kind of part of it. So then in the half court, what I think the biggest challenges are, offensively, there are some challenges, again, of Kyle's reluctance potentially. And I think that Bam at times can clam up a little bit when they're playing in the half court, although that's last year's Bam. What I've seen, at least particularly over the last 6 games, is not that Bam. I want to see this Bam for the rest of the season.
All the time.
He's that guy, pal.
So if that Bam shows up, maybe some of these questions are answered. But the thing that really concerns me in the half court is the defense, because you're going to play Hero and Strus probably together with that lineup of Kyle and Bam and Jimmy. And just Tyler's still going to get hunted in that situation. And that concerns me in a big, big way. And you need him because, look, he's an excellent catch and shoot guy. There's no question about that. I wish he did more of it. I'm with Zach Lowe on that. I know Zach has been urging that on his podcast. But they also need his playmaking in a big way. So I think
9 assists tonight.
Yeah, I think
more of that.
9 good assists, by the way. Decisive
more of that.
So I think it's just one of those things where I like
dimes.
I wish that I wish I had the answers to how they fix the half court offense, but it just feels like when they're all together, those 5, which to me are the 5 that would close games, they're just, there's something not clicking properly with them. And it's not just not getting out in transition. It's just, for whatever reason, guys defer almost too much. There's, outside of Jimmy, there's not anyone being aggressive enough. And I definitely don't believe that that's by design.
George, I think part of it is I think it's foolhardy. They've expected that from Depot. They keep every offseason we're hearing Depot's going to be that closer that's going to help with the defense, because it's going to be hard to hunt Tyler when the other 4 guys are really good defenders out there, right? Especially when the Heat switch everything. And they also have a guy that they believe can get downhill when he's healthy. But the whole when he's healthy shit is I think we're all kind of tired of hearing that about Depot. We hear he's practicing, he's going full bore in practice, but he's not playing this week. I mean, have the Heat put too much into the Victor Oladipo basket?
They might have. I mean, before the season started, I had heard that, man, he looks as great as he's ever as he's been in a Heat uniform. I heard that he looks like Indiana Victor Oladipo. And then the season started. It's like, yep, nope, not going. And it's like, whoa, wait, what happened to he looked as good as the Indiana Victor Oladipo?
Yeah.
Was that all we got? We just he wasted all that before the season even started. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone has an answer to that. I thought I read that he's on this trip though.
He is. He's on the bench.
Yeah, but they said he won't play. He won't play.
Okay. But look, that's at least a decent step forward, though. The fact that he's traveling when you're not traveling at all.
And he's going full practice.
To that point, on our Off the Floor subscription feed, shout out to Winnow. Subscribe to Off the Floor for Ethan and me and Brady and Alex. I had to do that.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't even get who's on what anymore. I feel like you're all just like Game of Thrones. Where everybody is intertwined. And all
it's a couple spin-off shows.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful.
He called us incestuous.
This is from Ethan today.
I said cousin.
I said
so
incestuous.
This is from Ethan today, y'all. Hearing that Victor Oladipo could play now, but the team is being especially cautious. They want to make sure he trusts his body completely before he returns. So that was something earlier today on the subscriber feed. So
I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't get me started. You know how I feel about Victor.
Moose, go ahead. You got a question?
Different injuries.
Yes, I want to step away from the X's and O's for a second, George, and I want to go. I actually want to talk about Udonis because it's his last year, and I think we need to spend some time, talking about his legacy and everything that we're going to remember from him. So I want to know, when you look back on Udonis Haslam, what's going to be your defining memory and your best interaction with him, or is it the same?
I just feel like there's just a lot. I mean, interactions. There's just been too many to like pick one. I always feel like he's just always. Well, I don't mean it like that.
That's fine.
We get it.
I just feel like every time I run into him, it's just like, it's just cool. Like, yo, what's up? You good? You good? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's just a quick interaction, it's always like positive. And I feel like he's just, I don't know, man. Like, I've always been in his corner. I'm a big fan of his. I believe that, he could be on this roster as long as he wants. Obviously, this will be the end. What is his legacy? Well, look, if I had to think of one game that defines him, I'll give you a couple. Obviously, the Game 6 in Dallas in 2006. Just that game he had in a closeout game was just incredible. Double-double. They were leaving him open, and he made them pay every damn time. I also think, many years later, obviously Indiana tried to do the same thing, and that didn't work out so well for them when it was LeBron and those guys. But then I guess the other thing I think of beyond the 2006, because that's the first one for sure, is the Chicago game. I was there in Chicago after he looked terrible in the previous series against Boston, if I recall correctly. And then played in that game. Noah was killing them the game before. Well, everybody killed them in that first game. I mean, that game was a disaster. I remember this. Here's something funny for you. I was there at the game, and I was doing from the court, like one of those, like I was working with Jim Barry back then. I was doing Channel 4. And
he dropping all over the place.
Right.
South Florida legend, no biggie.
Post shows, he didn't do Jim's jingle though. He didn't rap for me. So, but we did one of those post shows where I think we either wrapped up or we were about to get started. I don't remember this part, but Barkley walks by and Charles says, "Your boys are in trouble." And they were down 1-0 to the Bulls, and the Bulls kicked their ass in that first game. But that next game with Udonis, to me, I mean, first of all, it changed the series on its head. Like, I don't think there's any question about that. And the fact that he was able to do that when he clearly was still not 100% by any stretch of the imagination and had that kind of impact, to me, embodies what Heat culture is, what Udonis has meant to the organization, all that stuff. And these guys sacrificed to make sure he was there. He's obviously sacrificed all this money over the years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, look, Riley is linked to a lot of guys, and generally it's always like stars, right? Like Magic and Kareem and, Patrick Ewing and, Dwayne or Shaq or whatever, right? Like those kind of guys. But I feel like Udonis is in that conversation as far as people that are linked to Pat, because and I know Levitard has talked about this a million times. Pat, for all the Gucci or Armani, all the Armani and the slicked hair, he's connected in New York, man. Like he's lunch pail, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's Udonis. Pat as a player was Udonis Haslam in the NBA. He was a stud in college. He was like whatever star you want to name when he was at Kentucky. But in the NBA, he made his living like Udonis Haslam and Bruce Bowen, you know what I mean, for a couple of years. So I think that's why, to me, when I look at Udonis, I think of just like he embodies everything that Riles has wanted in a player and in a player that has helped lead his team and captain his team. George, we love you. Thank you for hopping on. We appreciate you. When they play the 76ers, we're going to get you back on because Twitter will not let that shit die. Yeah, clearly. It's okay. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, at this point, I don't care anymore. Just say you'd rather be. I mean, by the way, the funniest thing that you bring that up, I was there interviewing Jimmy Butler on the floor after they closed the Sixers out and was talking to Jimmy Butler. I'm sitting there smiling with Jimmy Butler. We're having laughs. And all of a sudden, the only thing I couldn't even look at my Twitter mentions because all it is I'd rather be the Sixers. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Believe all of it.
Tobias Harris over me.
Yeah, I was there standing right there when he said that. That was fun.
Oh my God,
that's awesome. All right, George, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
Thank you,
George.
George.
For hopping on.
Thank you,
You
George.
guys have a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
You
man.
too.
Thank you to George Sedano for
That's awesome.
joining us. We didn't give him a hard time this time. Next time, I promise.
Next time. I love that he mentioned that Chicago game, by the way, because I always think about that. No rebounds, no rings. Such a missed opportunity for a court culture teacher. I mean, you would have
Look at
sold
Cortez.
thousands of
Cortez in the
those.
chat. Cortez in the chat called George a name dropper. Correct.
Yeah, look at
Cortez, I should
Louis
blow
over
up
there.
your spot, Cortez. I should blow up your spot, but I won't do it.
Don't do it.
Nah, we
Friend
won't.
of the show, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, we appreciate George for stopping by. We were talking a lot about Bam, and I kind of want to highlight how good he's been this season. And the way we're going to do that is with our new segment, looking at some stats.
Yes.
Cortez says,
Cortez
bring me on
with
with
the
George
challenge.
on Sixers game, fucking coward.
All right. It's right there. You can't back out now. It's going to
Listen,
happen.
Right. Y'all see
Nope.
this, right?
It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what the Heat do this season. Cortez has won with his PJ Tucker slander. Like he,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
he wins.
Oh, yeah.
He wins the offseason with the PJ Tucker
Solidified.
slander. Holy shit, man! Could you imagine if that motherfucker was doing that shit here?
Woo! For
Hey,
30
Oh my
mil?
God.
He wouldn't because
On 3
he
for
wouldn't have
30.
one- he wouldn't have one of the worst offensive coaches I've ever seen, Doc Rivers. Anyway, man, that 2008 championship.
Has Doc ever done better with a player after the Heat have them?
No, I mean,
it seems like a dumb
What a
question.
Has,
Seems like a dumb fucking question. I already know the answer to it. Absolutely fucking
has Doc
not.
ever done anything without like 15 superstars like running their own offense? Like
There aren't many Heat players that have left the Heat and been better elsewhere, frankly, if we want to just
Yeah.
do it like that. I mean, Braun, obviously.
Justice Winslow.
Questionable.
Dwayne was good in
What has he done
Chicago.
since he left?
Dwayne was all right in Chicago. His on-off numbers
He had a
were
moment.
fucking
He had a
awful.
moment.
Like he
Oh, he was
was good.
recruiting Jimmy. He was
Yeah, he
great.
was
Exactly.
recruiting
It's
Jimmy.
all worth it. All
But
worth it.
Defensively, my God. And also,
Chess.
Sean, I'll give you one. Sean Livingston, because he finally got healthy when he left here.
Pat Beverly.
True.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at some stats.
We played this already. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I thought
I
it was
know.
the intro again. I'm sorry.
So,
Sorry, wait. Try and
instead
dress
of
it up.
goddamn, it's God Bam. Per 75 possessions, Bam is averaging 16.2 field goal attempts, 7.7 field goal attempts at the rim, 8 mid-range field goal attempts. Among all players, he's 82nd, 91st, and 96th percentile in these numbers. Among centers, because Bam is a center. If you call Bam a 4, I will block you immediately on Twitter. Among centers, he's 94th,
Well-
78th, and 97th. Just showing that Bam's versatility this year. It's not putback dunks. It's not just layups. He's doing a little bit of everything. We showed you before. I mean, my man's hitting threes right now. And this is per Juan Carlos Barnino and John Jablanca. Follow them on Twitter.
Yes.
We have another slide.
Yeah, we
here?
got some more Bam.
Yeah, we got
stuff.
some. Bam Adebayo. Free throws, 87% for the year.
Woo!
Second best free throw shooting center in the league after Karl Anthony Towns, which is a typo because Cat is a shooting guard. He is not a center.
right.
Rudy Gobert is a center on that team, and we'll
That's
get
fair.
to that shortly.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, that is Cat is not a center. I will take that to the grave. He is not a center. So he is the best free throw shooter.
number
center in the
one.
league. Number one, 87% on the year. That is amazing. And for a guy who only got 2 free throws tonight, but he made both.
But look at the
We gotta
difference
talk
between
about you and
last
rounding up.
year.
Tony's eyes are so creepy,
Oh,
yo.
86% this year, 75% last year. I mean,
All,
these are
all
major
that
improvements.
shows, all that shows is that he was dedicated to working on his jumper. That increase in percentage right there is just he solidified his shooting technique.
And
Yep.
you are not afraid to go to your center at the end of a game, right? I mean, I think we showed this a few weeks ago that, I mean, in the fourth quarter crunch time, he's got one of the best field goal percentages in the league. He is a guy. He is a center in the NBA that you can go to in crunch time, close games. Like you can rely on him, and if he gets fouled, you don't care if he goes to the line because you know he's going to sink both most of the time. So, yeah, Bam just playing out of his mind, Siobhan. And like George said, I don't care if he scores 30 when Jimmy comes back. I just want him to take his opportunities the same way he's taking his opportunities now, and also just demand opportunities the way he's demanding opportunities now.
That part, the demanding part, I expect him to continue to take them. Someone was talking to me on Twitter about how they essentially were still referencing last year's Bam and that, you know, that reluctance to take that shot. And that hasn't been a thing with him all season. I expect him to continue to take his open looks. It's what you said, the seeking out the opportunities, the flashing to the ball, the quick decisiveness in his moves, getting to the basket. I think before tonight, he had like 44 straight buckets in the paint, and whether that's stuff at the rim or his little leaning fade, turnaround jump shot, I am of the mindset that he can average 25 easily, but it doesn't necessarily have to pan out to 25 to 30 points. He has to be felt. He can't allow himself to hide. He can't allow himself to take himself out of actions to Jimmy's back. Tyler's getting going. You know, I'm gonna just let the rest. No, he has to be the one that they establish first. He has to be the sun in which all the rest of them like get in where they fucking fit in, and we're gonna go and orbit and move together. So. Yes, moves. Thank you. Great minds.
No worries.
But yeah. He has to continue to be felt. He has to be a presence. You have to know that he's there and not just a DHO merchant.
Leif, what's crazy is the other two guys, you know, when it comes to whatever you want to call the Heat's big three, big four, two of those guys would love to defer all regular season. Like Kyle and Jimmy would love to defer to Tyler and Bam all regular season. Tyler grabs that bull by the horns. Sometimes you don't see Bam. Exactly what Blue said. Sorry, Tyler grabs that bull by the horns, but sometimes Bam is out here deferring as well. You can't have three motherfuckers deferring. Somebody got to get aggressive and I'm with you. I don't have a lot of problems with Bam. But
why y'all keep bringing up old shit?
Exactly. We see what's going on. 31 points in the last 31 points per game in the last three. I mean, if the other guys, if Kyle and Jimmy want to defer, Bam just needs to take that and go with it.
This is the moment. Like we just did an episode. We talked for 47 minutes. Ethan, Brady, Alex, and I about Bam Adebayo, and this is the moment where I feel like Jimmy should hand the keys to Bam. His field goal attempts are at 15 or so right now. They cannot go down. No. If anything, they should increase. It's just going to benefit Jimmy because I feel like in a playoff series, you may need the half court magic of Jimmy Butler to take over a series, and particularly certain possessions when you're trying to stabilize it, when teams are going on runs and such. But during the regular season, you're right. Like it should be Tyler, Bam, lean into your young guys, lean into these undrafted guys. But Bam has to lead the way. And this is the moment where I feel like it's like a natural thing that Jimmy could do. And it doesn't seem like people are going to be like, oh, look at Jimmy giving up the team to Bam. Like, I think it's like a perfect transition point. And Bam appears as if he's up to the challenge. So why not keep it going? Like, I don't see any negative to them featuring Bam more. And this season, we got it. Like last season, there's like conditioning amongst Heat fans where like Bam is like not looking at the basket. That's not this season so far.
No,
it's not the case. Like you can't use that as a talking point. That's not
exactly. Try. I mean, ideally, you want Jimmy picking his spots, not Bam. Exactly. And I think Moose, that's where we're
Bam's a freight train, man. I'm telling you.
I mean, that's Bam coming down the lane, freight train. Mm-hmm. You want Jimmy picking his spots. You want Kyle, you don't want Kyle picking his spots, but you want Jimmy picking his spots, not Bam. And we talk about it all the time. They occupied the same space on the floor a lot.
Yep.
And if somebody is going to create the space, Jimmy is more respected from three than Bam. So if you're going to look at it just that simplistically, like if somebody's going to acquiesce a little bit, it's a more natural fit for Jimmy to pull out of the paint a little bit and let Bam operate. We saw tonight they had one of their best 3-point shooting games of the season. I do not think it's a coincidence that it came from Bam getting off early. I mean, it's crazy. Fundamental, inside out. Like it works. It really does.
Alf, to that point, I think that's why you saw Jimmy was really putting a premium on working on his 3-point shot in the offseason. And especially while he was playing with us, I saw him just going to it more often than he did at the early half of last year. So I think he understands that he needs to step out of the paint and let Bam thrive in that area. If anything, this stretch of games should further show that to him. We always talk about Bam has games like this. He's always shown this potential. But it's when Jimmy's alongside him that his field goal attempts start to go down and all that. If he can maintain this, I love what Greg said. He needs to stay at 15, 16 shots minimum a game. If he can continue to do that and Jimmy can help space with that 3-point corner spot or even just straight ahead, that's going to completely change this offense. And then you're going to even open things up for Tyler Hero as well. Like the entire offense is just going to be much smoother.
Outback Threesa says, to your point, might be the most said phrase
actually,
that he
to Outback's point, that is a great point. To his point, that's a great point.
We have motherfuckers on here who don't have good points to their point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit. We don't recruit jackasses. Like shit, people be making good points out here. So like we like to do towards the end of the show, we like to look around the league a little bit. Not to laugh at other teams. Because it makes us feel better. But yeah, we like to go around the league and see what they doing over there. Oh yeah. Oh shit. What they doing over there?
This is delicious.
All right,
aforementioned shooting guard, Cat. Look at the spacing. Look. I love it. Like, I don't know who thought this was going to work. Who thought
five draft picks for that shit?
Can you start this run from the beginning? Like the
I don't know if we can.
Oh my gosh. It's okay.
Right into the play 3. And here's
you want me to do? I'll do it from the beginning. Here, we'll start over.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Look at Dre laughing.
It's so much better with the music.
Gotta unmute, guys.
Oh no! I'm
glad
I'm
we did this
unmuted.
again.
I'm just watching it.
I was talking. Where was Cat thinking he was going? He was taking Caban off the dribble. This part is hilarious.
Right into Rudy Gobert, sitting in the paint because there's nowhere else for Rudy Gobert to go.
Damn.
And the best part about this,
watch
Draymond. Look at
Draymond.
Oh, that's my favorite part of that play. That is my favorite part.
Oh, and here's
the fucking Hawks.
DeJounte Murray, the least likable motherfucker in the NBA. Like, it happened in one
It happened
season.
so quickly.
Yes, it did. Like, everyone loved him when he was just like the nice guy on the Spurs. But look at these dudes doing airplane
think they're
shit.
good.
Oh, too small.
The two frailest. So, do you remember that chart early on about like the shortest and skinniest teams in the league, and the Hawks were like the smallest and frailest team in the league?
Oh, and they lost all that talk
To the Rockets too, of all teams.
Now, this was interesting. We have a Men in Black situation. Word to karate.
Yeah, this is weird, man.
What the fuck is coming out this dude's face?
All right.
What?
Why is he bleeding yellow? Is he a Simpsons character?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here. Oh, these motherfuckers.
Oh my God.
Didn't they learn from last season? I mean,
what the hell are they doing? They're the absolute corniest team.
Are you in a towel? Is your dick like what? Are you? What
Dick
is
out.
happening?
Lifted weight.
I like to lift with
Barefoot.
the drift.
There you go.
DeAndre.
Jesus,
Not
man.
you. Damn it.
And this is from last season.
I was gonna
Same
say,
kind of
that's the
shit.
thing,
Look
yeah.
at working out in slides.
But
And
you
this
know,
is fine. People do this all the time. Don't record it.
Don't
On
record it.
slides.
Don't put it out there.
Look at that. What the hell?
Yo, is that Jay Crowder like working out with them? But does he even hang out with the team still?
No, that was from last year.
I mean, at least that's an exercise.
Yeah, the Suns haven't learned their lesson. It's okay. Like I
Crowder
think a
doesn't
lot
wanna
of
play
teams
with
do
them
that
anymore.
after.
He's
To
embarrassed.
Siobhan's
Yes,
point.
it's common.
But who else is broadcasting that shit?
That's
Real
weird.
looking fluey type shit.
Hangover time.
I saw all the people over there bitching about like, oh, fucking make fun of culture. He culture, fuck your he culture. It's like, listen, that like at least it's like an actual fucking thing that you can like measure over the years. But like that bullshit with the like, what you got to show workout videos? What the fuck? Do you have fucking radio in your Twitter handle? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Shout out to Pablo G.
And to your point,
Inside
I be seeing some informed, they think they're informed opinions on Twitter where like
Oh, God.
Atlanta has a better young core than Miami, and Minnesota has a better young core, and Anthony Edwards, and there's all these teams. The Phoenix
Minnesota's
Suns.
fucked. That's what they are.
How many championships they all
Not a
got?
core.
Take
A core
them
has to
teams,
be
add up their
cohesive.
championships.
None.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the fact that Rudy Gobert trade set the
No,
market.
that is gonna go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history.
said
I
this
think the
when
Heat
it
would have
happened.
Durant.
But Siobhan, like what I don't get,
I'm with you, Life.
I don't want to spend too much time with the Timberwolves, because they actually beat us. But I mean, everyone beat us.
And did.
But
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we play up to good teams.
We didn't have it. I mean, I
right?
think
We're
we
playing
had
up to
like
good
four
teams.
guys. But I don't understand who thought in today's NBA putting Cat and Gobert on the floor at the same time
A-Rod.
was gonna work.
Hilarious.
Like why? Like who thought? First of all, defensively, I guess it's okay, but Cat can't move. Like you can't have
Exactly.
two slow like you have to have a bunch of athletic guys around Gobert to make Gobert shine. Like I just don't understand why they did this.
They're not even complimentary as big pieces. Like the only
At
team
all.
doing that well is New Orleans. But that's because all of their bigs are active, athletic, and they fit. Like the big core in New Orleans fit each other really, really well. That shit was stupid. And it is it's very saddening that is what set the market. And I wanted it. I knew that was going to happen, and it pissed me off that it did. But shout out to Utah. They got a trove on the backside.
Oh,
but
they're
that was
stacked.
They did.
They're
did.
set up. They're set up.
and they don't. And Minnie doesn't have the coach to make that work.
Nope.
Like I don't know what they
Yeah,
thought they were
Biggs.
shooting for there. I don't know.
Who is their coach?
Exactly.
Not one that's
They
going to
can't
make
even
it
name their
work.
coach.
I
Is still
feel
Fred
it's one
Hoiberg
guy
or
with
some
a
shit?
beard and a tight sweater. That might be somebody else.
Motherfucker.
Am I wrong? Who is their coach?
I don't.
I thought it was not Flip Saunders.
Some guy that's about to be fired.
I think
That's who
it-
their
I
coach
think
is.
it is
Some guy that's
Flip-
about to
is
be
it-
fired.
No, Flip
Flip
Saunders.
We'll
kid
learn.
isn't
We'll
there
learn
anymore.
their name when we see the press release.
Yeah, when
of their
I
release.
want to know.
when they hire Ime Udoka.
Oh, one of the most
Oh,
overrated
man.
coaches of all time, next to Brad Stevens.
Apparently.
Clearly, Boston needs to keep on fucking firing coaches, and
Am I
they
According
look,
to
they
the-
look
according
better
to the
whenever they do
chat-
that.
According
Am
to
I-
the chat, it's some dude named Chris Finch.
Yeah,
but
nobody
that sounds
knows who
fake.
Chris Finch is.
That's I don't believe.
Yeah,
it.
I think the chat's fucking with us.
No
No,
way. There's
no,
an NBA
that's-
coach named Chris Finch.
No,
I
that's
didn't
his
know there
name.
was a black coach with the last. What's his name? Mazzola.
The Boston coach?
No, that's a race car driver. We got any more
Yeah,
show?
We're nearing the end of our show, so we wanted to do one of our more popular new segments.
Is it?
I don't know. I haven't heard any reviews on it.
We're
Can
giving
we do
it another go though.
only the hardcore fans are left at this point.
Oh God, I didn't know what it was. Go ahead.
But tune in next. By the way, we say it. We put the title card up at the end of every episode when our next Hangover Time is.
Yeah.
So just mark your calendars. It's next Tuesday against the Pistons.
That's true. I never say what our next show is, even though I know when the next show is.
Never do.
Yeah, I'm not good at promotion, man. I come in here just off the top of the dome, figure it out. We go for like an hour for some strange reason.
I had to beg for the link for me to even come on this show.
Like, bro,
terrible.
I forgot. I don't, dude. I'm so unorganized. Anyway, our new.
Come on, hard 30. Let's go.
Hard 30 times 3.
It's supposed to be a hard 30 tonight. Shit.
Anyway, Moose, how are you doing, man? Like, how's everything going?
You know, I mean.
Anyway, our new segment, Bronze Book Report.
How's anybody doing, really?
I'm sorry. It's the one of him on the bike in the spandex reading. You're not reading on the bike, LeBron.
The reading rainbow is what gets me.
He should have been in that Suns montage.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Hello,
what's up?
Sorry.
What's up, Bron? How you doing?
Yeah, no.
How's your season going?
You guys don't read on the exercise bike? I like to read on the exercise bike.
I don't.
You read the table of contents.
Sing songs I don't know the
38
words to.
special lyrics.
I like to sing songs I don't know the words to yet.
So, what are you reviewing for us today, Bron?
Well, the new book that I've been reading digitally is
That's it, baby.
That's a tough word. That's a tough word.
A book by Muggsy Bogues. Called Charlotte's Web. Man, this book has everything.
That was a good setup.
There's Larry Johnson, Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball. It's about this pig, right? And then James Cromwell comes in. He's like, Michael Jordan bought the team, and then
a long ass book.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's like it's long though.
Oh.
It's long.
Yeah.
And no pictures. Don't let the cover fool y'all. Don't let the cover fool.
What happened to the pig?
It went to the market, and then
all right.
You can tell Charlotte that pig has no culture. Look how fat that pig is.
And then one of them got a DUI, I believe.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, Montrez.
Did you get a little emotional at that point?
No, I did. Yeah, because because there was a spider. I think it was Tobey Maguire. And then he was spelling the words out, man, and he was spelling the words out, and then the spider told me he passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, because Dr. Strange, he made several
All right.
And then the timeline shifted, and then Tobey Maguire got stabbed by the Green Goblin.